Hi, welcome to the Body Coach TV. It's me, Richie Norton, aka the Strength Temple. So today we're going to go through a really simple, slow, basics, foundations, flow that's going to help you become more aware of the areas that need attention when it comes to flexibility, mobility, and bringing it all together with your breathing to overall help you perform better for other exercises, okay? So we're actually going to start down on the floor. We're going to run for around 10 minutes. So I want you to take your time. The key part to remember here is the breathing, okay? So you might have heard of more mindful practices, and whether that's yoga, whether it's meditation, it doesn't have to be anything to do with meditation. The idea is the breathing is a big part of helping your body prepare for any kind of movement, any kind of training. It can energize you, but it can also be a huge tool to calm the body down, okay? So you could use this kind of a workout either before you go and do some training, if it's going to be something light. It can be a morning session, it can be a lunchtime session, it can be something before bed. The idea is you take your time and you start to find your own limits and start to play from there, all right? The idea is it should be fun. Stretching doesn't need to be hard work, okay? So starting on the knees, okay, we're gonna bring our hands down to the mat, really low impact to start things off, okay? So you kind of want to be on a mat. It can be a bit tough on the knees. You want to have a bit of cushioning there, okay? But the first things first, ankles, these are the wrists, knees, hips, ankles, upper back, shoulders, hips. We want to try and get those areas nice and warm, okay? So first of all, big breaths in through the nose if you can, and out through the nose. If you see me moving and I haven't quite introduced that movement, try and follow along, because what tends to happen as you move in your own time, at your own pace, you might feel an area that might need a bit more attention, that feels a bit stiff. We're all a little bit different, okay? So bring your attention to start moving in a small circular motion. Breathing in, breathing out. Try to take tension away from the hips, from the neck. Try to create some spinal articulation. So try to really loosen up the back. Breathing in, breathing out. If you feel any pain in the wrist at any point, okay, it's a sign that it needs a bit more work, and it's important we keep our wrists super healthy, okay? So this is a nice lightweight to improve the mobility and flexibility in the wrists, okay? So while we're here now, just a little bit of heat again. Maintain that breathing rhythm. Breathing in, breathing out. I'll keep reminding you. Have a little stretch onto the top of the wrist, really gently. If that's sore, again, use this hand to balance out the pressure. Breathe in, breathe out. Change sides. Gently applying a little bit of pressure. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, this is a good thing to mention here. If you're doing any push-ups, if you do handstands, any kind of inversions, your wrists play a huge part in your range of motion, being able to get into those positions safely and not injure yourself. So just applying different bits of pressure on the wrists and placing the hands in a slightly different position by turning the fingers out in this example, and doing a small little circle, breathing in, breathing out, and then back the other way, so clockwise and then anti-clockwise. And then at any time you want, applying a different bit of pressure onto the back of the hands to give them a little break, okay? Okay, so from here, now we've prepped the hands, turn the toes, kind of keep the knees under the hips. Bit of spinal articulation again. This is a really nice way just to open up the back and gently apply a bit of pressure. Again, looking for that constant support of the shoulders and the hips, those weight-bearing joints. Take a breath in. Going to tilt the hip up, lift the head up gently. Don't compress the neck. Breathe out, put the chin to the chest, and then really try and push it away from the floor. You should feel a nice stretch up through the shoulders, open up the shoulder blades. Really try and open up all the way through the spine, pushing away from the floor. Take a breath in and out. And the next breath in, lift up. Next breath out, chin to chest, push away from the floor. And now move with each breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then a nice little bit of movement. Create a bit of an S shape through the spine. So you wiggle through the hips. Have a little bit of playful movement here. Again, we're trying to work into the shoulders, wrists, hips, everywhere. And then giving the wrists a little bit of a break. Come up into a kneeling position. Adjust yourself, shake that off. And then now you've got that heat in the wrists. Create some nice big circles. Don't forget to breathe. Again, wrist health is so important. Okay. A little bit of flexion and extension through the hands. This is great if you've been hunched over a desk, on your laptop, over your phone. Again, really important to keep on top of it. Okay. So changing this transition now, placing the hands back on the floor, placing the hands under the shoulders. Take a breath in, the knees are going to come off the floor. I want you to gently push back. Working the heels down towards the floor, lengthen the spine, hips go nice and high. You might need to soften the knees if you're a bit tight for the hamstrings or the back. Breathing in, breathing out. Rolling forwards, so your hands again stacked over the shoulders, improving that strength, sending some energy through the shoulders. Drop the knee down, take the pressure off the hips. Come into a kneeling position, and from here, open the palms up, reach the hands up to the sky, take a big breath in, and as you're ready to breathe out, bring the hands back down to the side. Place the hands on the mat, again, good stable foundation, open up the fingers nice and wide, breathe in, take the knees off the floor, breathe out, push back, feel that stretch and length through the spine. You're trying to get the heels down towards the floor. Maybe you want to walk it off a little bit. Really important to work those calf muscles and get that flexion and mobility through the ankle. Again, feel what your body needs. The idea is we're trying to find those limits and start to play with the end of range to improve your flexibility and your mobility for training or just simply as maintenance for a healthy body. Bring the knees down. Come up into a kneeling position. Take a big breath in. Reach up. Open the chest. Open the front of the body. Reach up high. Breathe out. Hands to the side. Bring the hands back down. We do that one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Push off the fingertips. Push the heels down. Feel that length through the back. Hips up nice and high. This time you might want to experiment with the rotation, really get into the hips. Again, we're doing this really slowly, so if you're carrying maybe an injury, don't push past pain. If you've got irritation, don't want to aggravate it anymore. The idea is we're trying to create a bit more of a supple, soft tissue, allowing the body to feel like it's having a little bit of a break, okay? Then bring the hands back down, walk the hands back. Adjust yourself. Take a nice big breath in one more time. Breathe in. Really reach. Feel that opening through the back, through the front of the body. Hands to the side. Okay. So again, trying to keep you consistently breathing. Okay. Bringing the attention. You should never really get out of breath in these kind of flows. This is really gentle. I don't want you to feel any aggravation. If anything feels stiff or tight, you slow down. You maybe regress the movement a little bit. You will improve the more you practice this, and it will improve the way you feel physically and mentally, because you're allowing that time to really just focus on you. Okay, so we're going to come up to a standing position now. Okay, so from here, push back up, again, back into that, we'll call a downward dog for those of you that maybe don't know the yogi term. But I want you to walk your hands back and bend the knees as much as you need. If your hamstrings are a little bit tight, your back is tight, as much as you need to be able to come back to a standing position. I just want you to hang, okay, so just a little bit loose and soft with the knees. You want to try and breathe into the back, so trying to open that space. Those have been sitting down for a while. Really good to allow the spine to lengthen and open up. Breathing in, breathing out, and then rounding the spine, let the head come up last. And as you breathe in at the top, that same movement, palms come up, reach up towards the sky, big stretch, and then hands down by the side. Okay, so feel free to repeat that. It's a really nice way to create that heat, that warmth, and to create some length through the backs of the legs, through the hips, the upper body. We're just going to work now into the shoulder a little bit and up into the upper back, those areas that feel quite tight. So I'm trying to give you some exercises that will start to give you some confidence in moving a little bit better and exploring what your body's capable of, okay? So we're going to take a little step to the side here, okay? So really nice and easy. Again, looking at the ankles, the knees, the hips, starting to get that stretch through the legs. Use your hands on the legs for support. Breathe in, breathe out. And what we're going to add in here now is a little rotation. So as you come forwards, so you're going to lunge to one side, I want you to reach. So supporting, let's say the right hand, my right leg here, the left arm is going to reach around as I really push. So I'm going to feel a nice big stretch to the side of my body, as well as load up my legs. Breathe in, change hands, breathe out. Breathe in, and then release with that breath out. Again, foot position doesn't really matter. If you're not exactly in the position I'm in, don't worry about it. We all move a little bit differently. You will start to find what works for you. Okay, so let's do that a couple more times. Breathing in, breathing out. Move your body to where it feels like it's getting that stretch. Where are you feeling it? Breathe in, just make sure the breathing stays consistent, allowing you to really open up and get that stretch. And then a little variation now. Hand on the left leg for me, my right arm is going to come up. So it's going to work down my hip into the side of the body. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and then just shake that off, roll it off. Again, these mobility and flexibility exercises, it can be at your own pace. If it's something you do in the morning, you tend not to move too quickly, you're just trying to wake up the body to get ready for your day. And if you're going to wind down after some training, this is a nice way to let the muscles start that restorative time to make sure you're ready for the next session, okay? So, I'm going to bring it down to the floor now to wind things down. I'm just going to face you. Again, if you can't sit cross-legged, that's okay. You can be here as long as you feel supported. Okay, I'm going to do it with my legs crossed. But the idea is now, okay, all we're going to do, place the left hand down on the floor. My right arm is going to come all the way up. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to lean over to my left-hand side. Again, working into my back. I'm going to start to open up through the side of the body. Breathe in, change sides. Breathe out. I get a really nice stretch through my ribs and all the way through the underside of my body here, but I'm also trying to push my left hip down. Okay, one more breath. Breathe out. And back, breathe in. Breathe out. Good. And then one more. Turning onto my hands and knees again. You might want to transition to that same exercise we did before. It's a really nice way to keep the spine nice and healthy, okay? But what we're going to do here is a nice little opener for the hip. Something that most people struggle with is the hip and the shoulder. Okay, so the really easy way just to transition to this is take a step up, left foot, let's start first side up by the left hand, wherever you can get it, okay? Making sure this right hand is placed over the shoulder to support this body, this part of the body. And all we're going to do, we're going to rotate out, okay? So you can lunge into this position as well. Take your time, breathe. Because what we're doing here is we're opening up the hip inside the leg, but we're also getting that rotation into the upper body. Breathe in. Bring that leg back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Turn this hand out. It might give you more space to the shoulder. Breathe out. Play with this range. Sometimes if your shoulder's a bit tight, that internal and external rotation is good for the health of the shoulder, but also into your upper back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Change sides. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. One more time. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And play. If you feel you've got a bit more range here, play with that range. Just take your time, allow the body to adjust. What we're going to do now, pushing back, stretching with the backs of the legs, soften the knees, take a breath in, and then slowly walk yourself back. And then really gently coming up. Breathing in. Big reach up. Open up for the side of the body. Feel the whole body lengthen. Hands down by the side. And shake it all off. And hopefully you feel a little bit more supple. Again, don't worry if that's been a bit too advanced for you. They are pretty much the foundations, but we can always play with different levels, pull it back a little bit. But what I'm going to try and do is give you some examples of the more advanced movements if you found those movements quite easy. So you can really work with your own range, okay? Because there's lots of different levels. But the idea is it becomes fun, it becomes a daily practice. So you start to feel more confident and happier in your body and produce more when you're doing more high intensity exercises. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you very soon.